presented by Scott Credit Union. Yours.
BlueNote Fan Report. Now I've got stuff in my ears and I don't know where it's coming from. Oh no. There we go. Oh, I found it. I got rid of it. Oh, what's going on? Oh my goodness. This is the show that's effed up. That's right, it's effed up. It's all messed up. And what do you know about it? Hey, I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and this is the BlueNote Fan Report. This is the Monday edition of Talk Story. That's right. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. We'll talk about what I want to talk about. We'll just talk. One of the things that happened in the last day, someone who writes for Game Time, who I have zero respect for, to be honest, wrote an article, and again, all of this person's articles, and I'm actually legally not allowed to say this person's name. So, you know, but wrote an article, and again, it was common with all of their articles, poorly written, no facts, and what's really bad is this person who writes about the Blues is a Blackhawks fan. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. I guess that's makes a ton of sense, you know. Is what it is. I'm not going to give any more credence to the article, but come on, right? I in one of the groups, and I don't want to call the group out because I like the group and I'm in it and that, but we're putting too much pressure on young talent. Bullshit. That young talent's already proven it. Right? Already absolutely proven it. It just, it is what it is. And you know, I don't know what else to say. It just, you have to give your young talent. Perron did not want to be here. How many times am I going to have to say that? Perron did not want to be here. David Perron chose to go somewhere else. David Perron was offered a contract, and instead of getting with the Blues and negotiating and talking to him, he's just decided not to. And then said, oh, they didn't formally offer me a contract. Well, you know, when they tell you that this is what we've got and you don't come back with an answer, that's on you. There was no negotiations. He just walked out the door. On him. On him. Jose, can you see that I'm not very funny? There you go, buddy. Been watching comedians left and right, and I admire their timing and how they're able to stop with things and not rush it. Yeah, I rush things. I wish I could have that great comedic timing. You know, Jason, you know, this is what it is, you know, and then, you know, he's going to go sit there and talk bad about the Blues. I mean, I think it's great that they've taken the high road. I really do. But in all actuality, they should come out and say, hey, you know what? We offered him a contract. He didn't come back. Right? Is what it is. Is what it is. And that's, you know, all you can be. I'm just talking with what I can, man. You know, unfortunately, I got nobody here with me. Brad Pond, Jason Nichols, thank you for the thumbs up. Greatly committed it. Yeah, Ashley thinks it was a comical read. Yeah. This person tried to claim credit for editing one of my articles, and I found like 10 mistakes in that one. But it is what it is. You know, I'm not allowed to talk about that person, so I won't mention their name. It's how I feel. Plain and simple. Wendy's here, and then I is here. Facebook user. Hey, Facebook user. How you doing, bud? Great to see you. Glad you're here. It's Windy City Hockey. Full host gets another piece. He's at 693. He going right. It's fun doing the show. I really do enjoy doing this. I enjoy getting on here every day and talking to you guys. I can't wait for hockey season. But what makes this show isn't me, believe it or not. I know everyone thinks that, it's Guy that makes the show. Guy doesn't make this show at all. Right? Guy does not make this show at all. The Hawaii Blue fan doesn't make this show. Absolutely doesn't. You know what makes this show besides my mullet? Are my long, glorious locks? Right? Do you know what makes this show? I want to know who. I'm asking you guys what makes this show what it is. Right? What makes this show what it is? I want to see who knows. Cardinals are up 1-0 off Pujols' bomb. Ashley's got it. It's you guys. You guys make this show. I mean, if there's no one watching the show, if there's no one commenting, I got nothing to do. I got nothing to talk about. That's what Talk Story is. That's why I put it out there, Talk about what you want to talk about, what you see, what you feel, right? Right? That's what it's all about, Your comments. That's why I ask for your comments so much. Right? It really is. Without your comments, I go nowhere. I absolutely go nowhere. That is a true statement. I'm trying to figure something out here real quick. I guess I have a new sidebar that I didn't expect. Is what it is. Oh, it's Shocky! It's Shocky! Hey, Shock, how you doing, bud? Hey, 1 year ago, man, 1 year ago Sunday, I snapped the old wrist in half, and it still looks just as bad as it did a year ago. Right? Me and my white skin and my little, what do you call it, dinner fork injury. Still waiting to find out about surgery. I mean, I got told it got approved and I was supposed to get called, but I haven't. So I'll probably take care of that tomorrow. Wednesday, I've got to take my car in. Hopefully they'll be able to get my parts quickly. Right? Hopefully they will. I don't know. I have some of the parts still. I mean, some of them are usable, not all of them, but some of them. We'll see what happens there. And, hopefully I can get my car back, I don't think they'll have to do a lot of painting. She got to dissect a sheep's heart on the first day of school. So much fun. Well, here we go. How many chambers does a sheep's heart have? I know a human heart has 4. Right? Shocky tripped over the center ice line. Well, I mean, it's better than the goal line. 4 as well. So it's 4 chambers, but it's actually only 2 because the 2 chambers work in with each other. So one pumps in blood, one sucks in blood, one pumps out blood. One sucks in blood, one pumps out blood. So actually what's happening, since you have the 4 chambers, 2 suck, 2 pump. So when you suck, you pump. When you suck, you pump. You suck, pump, suck, pump, suck, pump, suck, pump, suck, pump. So that's what's happening every time your heart beats, right? Is that you're pushing the blood, you're bringing blood into the heart, and you're pushing it out. Now I forget why the blood goes in the heart. I don't think it gets oxygenated in the heart, but I think it's just like a regular pump. It's pumped in and pumped out. Mean Girl Hockey says hello, Mean Girl Hockey. Right, nice to see you. What about the heart of a hockey team? How many chambers are there to the heart of a hockey team? Wow, what a segue! Wow. Wow, what a segue. That is a true statement. I know people that have had them. Shocky, the only thing you're gonna dissect is the mosquito bites you get. uh think about that. How many chambers does a hockey team have? And you know what? The thing is, it's a different answer for every team, especially in the NHL. So who's the Blues heart? Who's the heart of the Blues? Right? Mojo, if you send me some deer steak. Haven't had deer steak. I've had venison, but I don't think I've had it in a steak. I've had it more in strips. Thermacell is amazing, whatever that is. Ashley says currently Tarasenko. I think he's one of them. I think he's one chamber of the heart. Right? I think Robert Thomas is another one. I think Tarasenko is, or not Tarasenko, O'Reilly is, and I kind of think it would be Falk. Samir, hey bud, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Hey man, how are you? I think that those four would be the four chambers for me. All right. Tarasenko, absolutely, right? O'Reilly, yeah. Though I would not be surprised if O'Reilly gets traded before the trade deadline. And really, if he gets traded, it has nothing to do with where the team is. It's where the team thinks it can go. Right? Remember that. It's where the team thinks it can go. Because you know what? Here's what I do. I go to Ryan and I say, hey, look, Ryan, we love you to death. We absolutely love you to death. We're at this point right now, and we think we can get a little bit better. And we can get some huge pieces for you. But you need to know that in the offseason, we absolutely want to sign you back. We want you to come back. We want to do it. We want to pull a Keith Tkachuk, right? We absolutely want to pull a Keith Tkachuk. And I actually think that O'Reilly would go for that. I really do. We cooked deer steaks in the middle of Mark Twain National Forest. Had thousands of eyes glowing at us from all around. It was the best 3 days camping of my life. Well, sounds fun, man. Sounds fun. Ashley left us. Looks like the majority of my watchers have left, but that's nothing new. Hey, if you are watching, don't forget to put your thumbs up on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching from. Let people know how good it is. Tell them about it. Share it around. Let them come join the show. No, so when you see that, for me, those four guys are the heart of this team. And you know what? You can look around different teams and see different hearts, you know? I look at like the Capitals. To me, the Capitals have one heart. Right? That's it. It's Ovechkin. Right? And that's Ovechkin for me. And you know, I can look around different teams. You can look at Chicago. Chicago's got two. Right? Their hearts consist of Kane and Taves. That's it. Kane and Taves. Right? You look at Edmonton. Edmonton, believe it or not, you could probably say there's a few other ones in there, but in all actuality, to me, that's just the heart of that is McDavid. Right? That's the heart there. You go to Toronto, and I don't think Toronto has a heart. And I think that's one of Toronto's problems come playoff time. They don't have that heart. They don't have that solid base leadership that can get everybody working in the same direction. Right? At least that's how I feel. Samir, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Wow. Talk about being boring. Well, hey, that is what it is. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. Nothing I can do about it. All I can do is how I react to it. Right? Oh, Robin Morton's here. Hey, what's up? Find a way to flash freeze bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits and send me 50. I am definitely not boring. Well, I don't know. Maybe some people think I am. Apparently, I'm either boring or I'm an idiot, that I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess that's one of the big things. I guess I want to talk about something non-hockey related a little bit. I know here recently I've been lashing out on social media and Facebook particularly, and I made some comments that people are worried about and that. And you know what? I think you should be more worried with me if I'm not talking, right? If I clam up, if I'm not throwing something out there, if you're not seeing me on the show, if you're not seeing me being me, then that's the time to worry, right? Because the one thing that I've learned is that for me, social media gives me an outlet that I've never had before, and not everybody will like that. Actually, I don't need to ask your wife if you're an idiot. I just need to ask your mother-in-law. I'll wait for him to respond to that one. I will absolutely wait for him to respond to that one. We'll find out if he heard it or not. Jason liked it. Robert, did you hear that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Every now and then I throw a good right, stiff right, maybe not a good uppercut, but that was a hell of a jab. Oh my goodness, do I miss the Lou? I miss St. Louis so bad. I miss Lion's Choice. I miss Emo's Pizza. I miss Twisted Ranch. Um, I miss being around like-minded people. I miss the Warriors. God, I miss the Warriors. Right? I miss the hockey Warriors more than I think any of you will know. Right? I got to be honest with you right now. With a lot of the stuff that I'm going through personally right now, and that, and what it is doesn't matter. But it is what it is, and um, I just know that if I was in St. Louis right now, that I wouldn't spend a night alone without somebody calling me on the phone or talking to me or making sure that I was okay. That I'm almost dead certain that those guys would take care of me. I could be wrong. I mean, they may not look at me that way, but I have a feeling I'm not. Right? I have a feeling I'm not. Who knows? Could be. Is what it is. Right? Talk story. So somebody talk story. What's up? What's on your mind, man? What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about? What's on the minds of the fans of the Hawaii Blues fan? Right? What's on your mind today? Tell me. Tell me. You know what I should do? Ugh. Might as well. Let's see what's on NHL Network today. They put out their list of their uh top 20 forwards and their top 20 centers. I did not agree with their top 20 centers. Okay. There we go. Wait, 1, 2. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Like I say, you lost me for a second because I was hitting the wrong buttons, but there we go. All the Monopoly money we could to these. You know what? I would do that. That might get you in a little bit of trouble there, Mr. Morton. I can get away with it, but I don't think you would. Right? I don't think you would. I really don't. But I do miss the Lou, man. I miss the Lou something fierce. And you know, I wish it missed me as much as I miss it, but you know, I know it doesn't. You know, I know it doesn't. And I know, I mean, I try and, you know, I want to be an insider and I'm not. I know that. Right? But sometimes you don't need to be an insider to read between the lines and to figure things out. And I think I do a very, very good job of that. And I'll tell you what, I need to write. I need to write. I need to put an article out, some type, somehow, something that really just gives you guys, even if it's 9 people, 9 people is something to read from my mind. But I'm stuck. I'm really stuck, you know. I'm not sure what to write, and I'm not sure what original I can write, and I don't know what you guys want to read, right? And unfortunately, my articles aren't going to, like Aaron Markin, and I hate to call the guy out, but he will share everybody's article out there, but he won't share mine. He will never share one of my articles. Even in my own fucking group, he won't share my articles. Think about that. He will share every other writer's, but he won't share mine. You know, and I'm not even sure he reads half the articles. He just shares them. And if that's being mean, I'm sorry, but a lot of the stuff that's out there that's written, read it first, right? Read it and see if it makes sense, because most of it doesn't. Anything that sits there and says that the Blues are worse off than they were last year because they got rid of Perron, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? One guy means that much to a team. No. He doesn't mean that much to the team. You're looking at a team that had 9 20-goal scorers. 9. Could have had 10, was close to 10. Right? There are, you know, I think Grice is an upgrade. I really do. Right? The way Husso played in the playoffs was enough for me to let him go. There was no way after his performance in the playoffs that I would have signed him. He won 2 games and lost 5. 2 and 5, if I'm right. Right? He lost games 2 and 3 in round 1. And he lost games 3, 4, and 6 in round 2. So absolutely, he was 2 and 3 in the playoffs. Right? Other than the one shutout, and that was it, one shutout, wasn't anything other than pedestrian. At best, he was pedestrian. Bryce knows how to play. He's a little bit older, and I get that. But I think that he can fill in. And this Bennington stuff, oh, what happens? You know, Bennington, he had all those problems. He had COVID. Way he played in the playoffs, and I haven't heard anything about his knee, and I'm guessing that he's fine. The way he played in the playoffs, that was absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I'm sorry, that doesn't go away. That doesn't go away. Right? He has his game, and if his leg is okay, and I think it is, I really do. Right? I think you you have a guy that can take you to the next level. I really, really do. Charles Jenkins. Hey, Chucky. How you doing, man? My old high school buddy. Might be with me. Was at least gave me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. They're talking about guys that can score 50 goals. Talking about Kaprizov. I could see Kaprizov getting 50. I could see Kaprizov getting 50. Well, I don't know. They've lost some guys, so he might not have that line. Right? DeBrincat. I could see DeBrincat. I could also see Tarasenko getting 50. I could see him getting 50, especially with the way I have a feeling that Thomas Tarasenko Bushnavid's line is going to end up being your top line. Right? I could see that one and your Shin, Kairu, no, you see, here's the thing, Bob. I get what you say. But here's my issue with this, right? It's what happened in the playoffs in those bad games, right? It's the fact that the Husso from 21 came back, letting in early goals, putting you behind before the game even starts, right? And I think that had a lot to do with how I feel about Husso, right? It's not what, and you know what? Bennington didn't have a stellar playoff in 19. I hope you realize that. Okay? The night of Game 7, he was going to set one of two records. Do you know that? There were one of two records he was going to set. Anybody know what those two records were? I'm going to ask out. Anybody know what those two records were? He was going to set one of two records that night. Right? A lot of NHL players can score 50. It's the ones that have the right players with them. Oh, that's an absolute perfect point. Perfect point, Jason. Way to go, Jason. Great point there, my friend. I'm waiting on all three of you. Come on, one of the three of you, give me an answer. All right? Since nobody else is watching me and everybody else ran away. There were two records. Two records. He was going to set one of two records that night. Game 7. The record he set was most wins by a rookie goalie. Most wins by a rookie goalie. The record he could have set was most losses by a rookie goalie. He'd already tied it. Okay? He wasn't stellar. He had one shutout. One shutout. One shutout. I'm sorry. He wasn't stellar in 19. He did enough to get the job done. But yeah, Bennington could have set one or two records. He set the record for most wins. If they'd have lost that game, he'd have set the records for most losses by a rookie in the playoffs. He tied that record. Right? 19, Jason, 19. Right? You know. I don't know. It is what it is. You know what? I was going to make a little bit of an announcement today, but I think I'm going to hold off. Oh, Bob texted it to me. Yep, Bob, you are right. Wins and losses. Saw a stat that Corey Price has only played with one 80-point scorer. Colorado had 6 on their team this year alone. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I seen that too. I seen that too, and that is amazing what Price does day in and day out. Right? I am with you on that one. Amazing what he does day in and day out. Right? Right? Sorry. Oh, somebody else. Who else? Erickson Krieger. I haven't seen Erickson in a while. He hasn't bumped in and said anything lately. Sometimes he'll throw something. No, I forgot to throw my banner up. Right? Oops. Yeah, you might be. I don't think Price is ever coming back. Right? I don't think. I really don't think Price is coming back. Right? To have him out for the full year. Yeah, I'm. I don't know. Is what it is, you know. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it right now. But you know that is what it is. Jim Carrey. Oh, there's a name I don't I haven't heard in a while. I don't know what happened to Jim Carrey. I can't even remember. You know, I know he played for a lot of teams. Right? I know he did. Uh, Hold on a sec. Oh, there we go. Uh, let's see. Played for the Capitals, the Bruins, and the Blues. Let's see. Post NHL career. Carrey's the president and CEO of a billing solutions medical billing company based in Boston and Sarasota, Florida. Maybe he's somebody I could try and get on the show. Maybe I should reach out to something. Right? He didn't. He didn't have a long. I know he didn't have a long career. Right? With the NHL, looks like he played 172 games, with 79 and 65, had 16 ties, 2.58 goals against, 898 save percentage. Playoffs, he played in 10 games, was 2-5, 462 and an 816. And that was both with the Capitals. He only played one season for the Blues, and that would have been 98-99. And that would have been when I was in one of the years I was in Japan, so I really didn't get a chance. Right? I know I have a Manny Legacy goalie statue that I got at a game I went to in 08. Chief beat him up. Every time we seen him, I thought the Mask movie. Yeah, he wore. I think he wore a mask with his mask was like made off the mask of that. The argue years in Capitals. Yeah. No, the 2.68 ain't bad at all. No, I will agree with that 2.58. Yeah, his goals against wasn't that bad. It was in the playoffs, but it wasn't there. I think he had knee problems, to be honest with you. Let's see here. To the Boston Bruins and a blockbuster. He signed a free agent season with St. Louis and played 4 games before deciding he'd had enough of hockey. So he just left. He only played 4 games with St. Louis. Right? So I'm kind of reading it. Yeah, I guess that was all he had with St. Louis. 4 games. He was 1-2 with a 3.68 and a 8.29. Had enough. I'm done. Bye. Out of here. See ya. Right? He did win the Venza Trophy, though. Got one of Dominic Hasek's trophies. Got to give it to him. You know what? I'm going to reach out to my guy tomorrow and see if I can either get Manny Legacy or Jim Carrey to come on. I don't think Jim Carrey will, considering it was only 4 games, but I can reach out to him anyways, right? Don't know. Not sure. We'll see what it is. Yeah. As long as we're talking goalies, what about Fat? Oh, Freddie Batwhite. Oh, yeah. He didn't play much with the Blues either. Yeah, it sounds like he did. Some of these guys were very good in business and were smart, right? And kept things going. I know Terry Yake did that, right? Terry Yakes ran a couple of successful companies. Who else? Our buddy Tony Twister has had some good companies, right? I know he had a very successful cigar bar for a while, right? You know, is what it is. You know, I can always reach out. You know, that's all I can do. I can try and see what happens. You know, not much more than that. Lately, it seems that the well is dry. So, right? It is what it is. And right? Same thing. Oh, the Islanders Day. Dobson, Romanoff, and Bellows all signed him to extensions. Lamarillo decided to wake up and do something. Might be a little too late. You know, I would like to talk to some of these guys. If Eminem can sell spaghetti, we can all make money. Yeah, I guess, you know, I wish I could figure out how to make money doing this shit, but you know, it is what it is. I would love to do commercials. I'd love to be able to do this and make money out of it, but yeah, it ain't happening. Glenn Gray. Hey, Glenn, how you doing? Sammy Helms. Both of them giving me a little bit of thumbs up. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you so much. Right? He doesn't look 80 something, man. He looks good for his age. Shit, I would say closer to my age. Right? I can't hear everything he's saying, but I can hear a little bit of it. You know, in about 2 weeks, you know, but when September hits, that's when it's going to ramp up, right? That is when it's going to ramp up. Mid-September, when training camps start, look out, right? 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 You know, doing what I can, my friends, doing what I can. I'm trying to look at if the cards have done anything since the last time that I brought it up. Let's see here real quick. It is looks like they won 1-0. Yep, that's a final. 1-0. So they're like on a 6-game winning streak, I think it is. Right? 5-game, 6-game winning streak. Let me see if I can pull this up. 8-game winning streak. Nice. Right? For me to really think that they're going to get to that level, they need to get into that 700. You need to be in that 700 zone, or 600 zone, pardon me, 600 win zone, right? Albert, game-winning RBI, number 693. God, I hope he hits 700. What would be really cool, so he's what, 7 away, right? He's 7 away from that. He's 21 away from tying Ruth. Right now, I know he doesn't have enough games, but just think if he could make that chase. And just think if he's close enough. Let's say he gets to 708, 705, 710. No, not 710, maybe too many. Let's say he gets 14, so he gets to 707. Right? 707. Wow. Think at 707, would he be willing to come back for one more year to chase 714? Right? I would. I absolutely would. I don't see it yet, Jason. I know I hear that, but I'm not there. You had a special guest coming over tomorrow. Who's coming over tomorrow, Brad? You can message me if you don't want to put it out. You can message me. All right, 19 games over 500. That's something special. Me and my buddy Lance got in an argument over that. Lance thought 500 was, well, they played this many games and then, trying to do it that way. But how many games you're over 500 is how many games you would have to lose to get. Oh, no way. Oh, come on. If you got him coming over, call me. Let's bring him on the show. What time? Tell me what time, my friend. Tell me what time, Brad. And let's bring Jake Allen on the show. Right? But, I mean, if you're real, I don't want what happened to me before. I can't have that. But he said he won't come back for 700 if he doesn't make it. I can see that, but missing, yeah, I can see not. But once you get it and you're that close to Babe Ruth, ooh, right? I don't know, man. I know what he said, right? Well, Robert's on it. Robert's got a what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it now. Major League reference going on there. Right? There we go. I got it right now. Excuse me. You know what? I was supposed to talk about this a while ago, and I didn't. And I should. What are your top 3 favorite hockey movies? Right? For me, my number 1 is not what everybody else's is. It's my number 2. Right? I actually think that there's another movie out there that really, when it comes to hockey got into the spirit of what the game really, really means. Right? Now, I know a lot of people will differentiate with me on this and not agree with me. But oh my goodness. I'm telling you, for me, I think my number 3 all time has got to be Youngblood. And I gotta say, the reason Youngblood is there for me is it took something that people really had no clue about, and turned it up a notch. And Youngblood took junior hockey to the next step, and it really did pound on it, right? Chris Shaw, Miracle, Mystery, Alaska, and Slapshot. There is one reason why Miracle drops for me, right? And it's because of the way they handled one thing that I know was true. And they downplayed it very differently to what the actuality was, right? And a lot of people think that there were there was one Miracle movie. There were 2. There was a made-for-TV movie with Carl Malden called Miracle on Ice. And Morton, you got my 3 just the wrong order. right? I just think that if you're going to take a sport like hockey and take a moment like Miracle on Ice, you have to make sure that you show how the leader became a leader. And Miracle didn't do that for me. The leader I'm talking about is not the coach. It was Mike Eruzione. And there was something that, oh God, and I cannot think of his name. I can't believe I'm blanking out right now. The coach did, God, I'm blanking out. I do this all the time, right? Almost a hockey movie, more of a golf movie than a hockey movie, but I can see it. I can see it. Oh, what was his name? Oh, Herb Brooks. I got it. I got it. Herb Brooks. There was one thing Herb Brooks did that made Eruzione into the leader Eruzione is. Right? Glenn Gray, about time. Oh, I've waited so long for you. Welcome, Glenn. Welcome to the show, man. Great. Happy to have you. Thanks for commenting. Absolutely. We appreciate it, Glenn. Mike Eruzione was having a real hard time with the way Brooks was coming down on him. And he knew that he was being looked at as a leader, right? And also they kind of made it seem like Eruzione was the next to last guy to get cut, and he wasn't. Right? That was the thing Miracle did. He was actually, he was pegged to be the captain of that team. Brooks went, Eruzione and one other player went to Brooks and said, hey, man, we got an issue with you. Can we, we need to talk to you about this. And Eruzione, basically said, look, I know what you're doing, but I don't know when you're on me or when you want the team to hear it. Right? And it's hurting my play because I feel like I'm trying to do too much. And Brooks, who could have just said, get your ass out there and play, said, you know what? Great point. If I say Eruzione, that's for the team to hear. If I say Mike, that's for you to hear. And at one point in the movie, he does two things. He brings up Eruzione, and Mike, this. He was able to get the whole team to concentrate on what he wanted them to concentrate, and then get Eruzione to concentrate on the thing that he needed to concentrate on to raise his game to that next level. And Miracle took that out. And I think that was such a prominent point of how Eruzione became that leader that they needed. And that is why Miracle falls down for me. Right? The Miracle on Ice, I haven't seen it. It's out of print. It's really hard to get. You might be able to find VHS copies. You're not going to find it on a DVD. It was so well done. Oh, it was so well done. And Carl Malden was perfect. Perfect as Brooks. Right? Yeah, Brad, we're getting there, my friend. We're actually, I think, less than a month from training camp. And we're just about a month and a half to start of the season, October 11th for the Blues, I think. Or no, actually, I think the Blues don't start till October 15th. They're one of the last three teams to start. February 22nd, 1980 was my birthday. It was a miracle in more ways than a legend being born. I don't know about a legend being born. A pain in my ass, maybe, but I don't know about a legend. Look, so my number 2 movie is Slapshot. And I get it. Slapshot is iconic. It is a number 1. I say 80 to 90% of people will make Slapshot number 1. Maybe 95% will make Slapshot number 1. And I get that. I do. It took a very in-depth look at minor league hockey. And it had some, not only just minor league hockey, it had some groundbreaking stuff in it. It touched on homosexuality. It touched on, men in fashion. You look at Reg in that and what he wore, and then you go look at some of the stuff Gary Unger wore. Right? I mean, it really did touch on a lot of cultural stuff, and it touched on minor league hockey, and it gave you an inside view of what that was. Now, it did go overboard on the fighting. It did. And I think that's the one thing that sets it down a tone for me. Right? My number 1 movie, and I'm sorry, you can beat me up for this all you want, is Mystery Alaska. Because Mystery Alaska, absolutely about the essence of the game. It was about the essence of the game. And I think that was something that movie took and embedded in its core. What that meant. What that really meant to that community and everything else. It just really lifted. I'm telling you what, for me, hockey made that. You couldn't take hockey out of that story. You know what I'm saying? Right? It was first and foremost about the soul of hockey. The kids skating the ice, right? The guy getting too old, the whole town coming out for the game, them being put in the town, who's in the game, who's not in the game. The way they cleared the lake ice and all of that stuff, and the way, the 4-on-4, the really getting out there and doing things that just I think Yachty's done. I do agree with that. Mystery Alaska, great. Plus Burt Reynolds, just take my money. I'm with you. I'm with you. It was all about the soul of hockey, right? And then even that, the movie shows how when you took that away, when it started becoming more about the Rangers, right? Not about when it took away from the game, right? When the NHL, we don't have to play, this is a joke, the heart of those guys. That was the thing that just stuck with me. And the way that they put the money into it, and that knowing what this meant to that community, right? Really, it was. I'm sorry, it was absolutely. That's what hockey is. That movie was more about what hockey is about than any movie I think I've ever seen. Right? Now, there's been some really good hockey movies out there. There really has, right? You have to look at the 3 Mighty Duck movies. And I think that they're 3 separate movies, right? I really do. I really do think that you have the Mighty Ducks 1, 2, and 3. and they're separate movies. And then you have the mini series or the series Game Changers. These are four separate things. What are some other hockey movies what are some other hockey movies I'm missing? I'm missing some stuff. Well, you know what? You also got to look at Ice Guardians. I know it's a documentary, but that really got into that. I'll agree with that, Shockey. I'll agree with that. You know what? I think you may be right there, Rob. I absolutely think you may be right. I absolutely think you may be right on that. I could absolutely see that, my friend. Absolutely see that. I just excuse me. For me, you know, let's get it. What are some hockey movies? What are some movies I'm missing about hockey? Right? What are some movies? I know there were other slap shots, but Goon. I'm missing Goon. Goon 1 and Goon 2. They're at the bottom of the list for me. They're at the bottom of the list. Some of the Slapshot 2s and Slapshot 3, yeah, those stuffs are at the bottom of the list for me too. Right? That yeah, what else? I know I'm missing something. Right? I got to be missing something. There's got to be more. Miracle. There's Miracle on Ice, Mystery Alaska, Slapshot, The Mighty Ducks 1, 2, and 3, Mighty
Youngblood,
Cager, Goons 1 and 2.
Don't forget Youngblood.
Youngblood. Oh, I forgot that. Youngblood's up there for me. Right? Youngblood. I forgot. Youngblood is up there for me. I was talking about my top 3 hockey movies of all time.
Yep.
Right? And for me, my number 3 is Youngblood. Right? It took, for me, Youngblood is my number 3 because it took junior hockey and elevated it to a new level. And it really did. My knock on it is my knock on most hockey movies, with 1 or 2 exceptions. But it took it put too much into the fighting, right? And it took away from the game a little bit, in my eyes, right? With me, disagree, Lance?
I will tell you that in minor league hockey, back in the 70s, 60s, it was pretty dang rough.
Well,
it wasn't.
But we're talking about junior hockey here, and junior hockey in the 80s. I think fighting was almost banned by then.
No, I was talking about Slapshot.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten there yet.
no, junior hockey in the 80s, there was still fighting.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the part of the game, right? They were moving away from it. They were moving away from it.
I didn't think that didn't actually happen until the 90s. Now there was, I watched several junior games as a teenager, and a lot of times there was more fighting in those junior games than there was in the minor leagues and in pros. I mean, not every night, and it wasn't as much as they showed it up to be. But I will tell you, if some young pretty boy came into juniors and tried to think he's going to put his will and skill over everybody, yeah, they're going to try to hurt him. They're going to try to take him out.
No, it did very much elevate junior hockey to an almost acceptable level, right? Mm-hmm. My number 2 is Slapshot, and my knock on Slapshot was the emphasis they put on fighting. That is my knock on Slapshot. I know everybody loves it. I know everybody loved the fighting and the hardness and all of that stuff. I get it, but that's not what hockey was about. It really wasn't. And anybody who thinks that that's what hockey was about is lost what the game really is about. Right? It's a tough game, and I get that. It is a very tough, very physical game. But it's about skill. Hockey has always been about skill. Always been about skill. And I'll tell you what, I'll mention one name here. And when I mention this name, tell me that this was not a skilled player. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I've had him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Twist. Tony Twist, while he had Fist of Iron, was a skilled player. He could skate. He had attitude. He could handle the stick. He could pass the puck. He did have a shot, not a great one, but he had skill. Or do you disagree with me? I'm getting that. I almost getting that feel of the goalie looking at me, going, "You have no clue what the fuck you're talking about."
He had to have skill, number one, to make it into the league. Even as a guy that, even back in the 80s and 90s when you were enforcer, you had to have some skill. You know, whether it was a good skater, whether it was a guy that was a two-way player, you know, something like that. You had to bring something else to the table. Now, were there guys that were the exception to that rule? Yeah, there were. Tony Twist, I think, was an average at best skater, which isn't a knock on him. You know, if you're an average skater in the NHL, you're a pretty good skater. Good fighter. I think his offensive abilities, even though he didn't score a lot of goals, I think for what they used to call a goon or an enforcer, I think he could hold his own with that. I'll put it that way.
I'll agree with you. I thought he skated I want to say he was slightly above average in his skating ability.
I could tell you some jokes that Brett Hall said, but I'm not gonna do that. But there was several stories I heard and listened to about Tony skating and stuff and how they sometimes would tease him. But hey, even faster skaters and get teased. So. Now he was. You're right. He was that goon guy, and he scored an occasional goal. Did some good things passing, but a lot of people think, well, he was just a fighter. No, he could rough you up in the boards pretty well too. He wasn't just that one-dimensional guy. He had a pretty well-rounded game.
Well, you know what? Here's another name that I can throw out there, and I think you'd agree with me on this name. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you think back to the early days of expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's a name from that period that was looked at as a quote unquote goon, but real in all actuality had some amazing skills?
You talking 70s, 80s, 70s?
Late
74?
60s, late 60s, early 70s, late 60s, early 70s.
There's a lot of guys that were pretty decent, even though they were physical. I don't know who you're thinking of.
Bobby, baby. Bobby Plager could skate. Bobby Plager had the best hip check in the league. And that's not physicality. You cannot hip check someone unless you are absolutely dead on know how to skate on ice to put your body in the right position at the right time.
Yeah, you've got to be a good judge of things. That's why a lot of times you don't see a lot of hip checks today. You just don't see them. I mean, I loved it when guys like Bob Plager would take a guy with his hip and just move him right into the boards. Now people are going to say, well, guys are faster and stronger and that can't happen. Well, if you've got a guy that's 6'2", 250 going up against a guy that's 6'1", 6'2", 200, and he can hip check well, he can take that guy out of the play and into the boards any day of the week. Yeah, hip checking is a lost art in the NHL.
Well, one of the things is, I don't want to say it's illegal, but they do not want guys going head over heels anymore. Right?
Hey, there's ways you can do it. When you hip check, you see guys, when they leave their feet, that can cause a lot of damage leading them with their hip.
Yeah.
But, if you can do clean hip checks. Just like people think,
leave his feet to have someone go head over heels.
Yeah. You can do a clean hip check without pushing somebody head over heels. Sure, you can.
Yeah, but Bobby would clean hip check somebody head over heels.
Yeah, it did happen. Yeah.
He did not need to leave his feet. He had that ability to get to that player at the right moment when their weight was at the right thing, and he did. He put some guys head over heels. He made guys start wearing helmets. There are guys who only wore helmets when they played the Blues.
Yeah, because
Right?
because the Blues were known after that cup run and everything, especially in the early to mid 70s. They weren't known as the best team in the ice, but I mean, when a GM from another team such as the Flyers just got pulverized by the Blues, and he went in and told his coach, "This isn't going to happen again. I want you to get some guys that can not only play and skate, but they can play rough and physical with these Blues because I'm sick and tired of them beating the crap out of us."
Absolutely. That game, not only that, you think about this, that game was also in Slapshot. That fight was it was in Slapshot. That fight, what happened there was immortalized in Slapshot. The keys getting thrown and all that stuff, because that was brought up. That fight in 72 got put into Slapshot in 75.
Yeah, and the game was very physical before that, but when the Flyers became the Blues type of team and they saw that it worked, then other teams started doing it. And other teams started bringing up guys that maybe they wouldn't have been in the NHL for more than 10, 15 games a year. They started bringing them up and putting them in the lineup each day, because now you had guys like Bobby Clark, and trust me, he's not my favorite player, but you know what? He's one of those guys. Some people call him cheap, but he did what he did in the era where he could get away with it, and I don't have a problem with it. But he could also score goals, and he could also pass well.
Tiger Williams.
Yeah, Tiger, yeah.
Right? He made a living. I read his book. I read his biography one time, and the one thing about him, I mean, and he talked about it. This was before coincidental minors, right?
Yeah.
A team would be on, or they'd be on the power play.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be 5-on-4. He would go out there, and his job was to get into a fight with the other guy and get him to take a penalty against him.
Yep.
So it would become 4-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was easier to score 4-on-3 than it was 5-on-4.
I mean, even in recent years, people are probably thinking Ryan Reeves, but look at what a guy like Scotty Upshaw did. Scotty Upshaw drew a lot of penalties because of his tenacious play.
Yeah. Right. My number one movie is Mystery Alaska.
That's a good movie. Yeah, that's a good movie.
I'm sorry, but you know what? When you really want to look at a movie about hockey, and the soul of hockey, that's what Mystery Alaska got.
If you want to know what the games mean to the country of Canada and the people of Canada and the people of the North, Minnesota, Wisconsin, places like that, it's that's one of those movies you watch it and you get a lot about the game from it, not just the scoring, but the whole story. It explains why hockey is what it is. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
It's a great movie.
Now Miracle. Yeah. I actually dropped Miracle down. The Miracle on Ice, the Carl Malden TV movie, is my number 4.
Yeah.
Miracle drops down for me because there's something that movie brought out, that Miracle on Ice brought out, that Miracle dressed over. And I think it was actually the essence of Herb Brooks.
Yeah.
Right? There was something that was in the Carl Malden movie.
Yeah.
And it resonates with me. It still resonates with me today. And I saw this thing in 82.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this thing in 82, and it still resonates with me. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what the essence of, what I think the essence of Herb Brooks is? I think I've told you this before, but I don't remember.
Yeah, you have, and I forget. But, one thing I liked about that movie, number one, it was made a lot closer to when it happened. Number two, he's such a good actor. And, he was always in those movies where he was a detective, a policeman. Yeah. But he came off very believable as a hockey coach. He did. Yeah. He did I don't know if he did research or what he did, but he came off very well. And Kurt Russell was great in it. But, he was great in it too. And it's like you got to know Herb Brooks by watching him.
Absolutely. No, I think you got to know Herb Brooks by watching both of them.
Yeah, you
But
do.
there was
Yeah.
one thing that Herb Brooks did. They tried to put that essence in the movie,
Mhm.
but the scene that they put it in wasn't a true scene.
Mhm.
And the scene that I'm talking about is when they're bringing in a guy who used to play, who
Yep.
had, bring him
Yep.
in late,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And you've got Arizioni going out and the goalie
Mhm.
going to Brooks and saying all this stuff. Oh, well, he this and he did that, and and Arizioni acting like he was about to get kicked off the team, right? Because, well, you know what? That wasn't true. That wasn't true at all. Arizioni was Brooks, when he picked his team, had always pegged Arizioni for the captain.
Yeah, but I will tell you this. I talked to Johnson and Christian that were on that team, and both of them said that if he gave you hell, it was to get something out of you because he knew there was more. And that is
hold
such
on.
You're
You're jumping ahead of me. In The Miracle on Ice, the Carl Malden movie, there is a point where both Arizioni and the goalie, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, Craig, go into Brooks, and they're basically telling Brooks, look, man, please, we get what you're doing, but we got some issues. This one of the things that Arizioni tells Brooks is, look, I know that when you call me, you're trying to get out of the team. I get that. However, I don't know when you're saying something that's related to the team or it's related to me, and that's messing me up because I don't know if I'm fixing the right things or not. And Brooks understood this. This is not a time. This is not a time where a coach would have listened to a player say that to him and say, and not tell the player, you just do what the fuck I tell you to. And pardon the language, but that's what, that's what he would. I think 90% of the coaches would have told him that.
Yeah,
okay?
and you know what else? I will tell you with that team what they say in the Miracle with the Kurt Russell, that when he says you're going to have to handle him, Patrick, you're going to have to be the ones because I'm not going to babysit him. That's absolutely true. When they had a problem, they went to Coach Patrick.
Right? This wasn't a Patrick thing. This was something where they went to Brooks.
I know.
Brooks told Arizioni, you know what? I got you. If I say Arizioni, that's to the entire team. I say Mike.
Yep, that's to you.
That's to you. And then in the next game, he comes back to the bench and coach yells, Arizioni, you got to do this, this, and this. And then he turns around and says, Mike, you need to work on Mike, you missed this. And you could see Arizioni change in his play and what he saw and how he saw, and him become a leader through that. Miracle missed that completely. And to me, how Arizioni goes from being the guy that's going to get cut to being the captain of the team doesn't make sense. And that's the part of Miracle on Ice that I love so much. And not only that, the last guy to get cut from that team was, and maybe you remember this, maybe you don't, and this is going to show what a softy I am. He was Jan Brady's husband on the Brady Brides.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
Right? And I'm not bad there, I guess. I love Miracle who wouldn't.
Oh, sorry.
I love Miracle who wouldn't. It was the Cold War, but Mystery Alaska is my favorite. I agree. I think Mystery Alaska really got into the soul of the game. I'm
going to give you my top three. It's going to be Slapshot, Miracle, and then Youngblood. Documentaries, it has to be my buddy Scorgy there with Making Coco and of course Ice Guardians. Those two movies just blew me away, especially Ice Guardians.
I have to put Ice Guardians above Making Coco. I think Ice Guardians I
put it above Making Coco because it was about a whole genre, a whole era, and not just, it's great to watch Grant's story because it's a different kind of a documentary. It's about one guy, what he did with the team. The other documentary is about the whole scope of the league and everything, and it kind of delved into a lot. But I don't know if a lot of people know this, and I hope they do. Coaches aren't just X and O's guys, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's a head coach. You've got to almost be a psychologist. You got to know when you can ride a guy. You got to know when you can't ride a guy, and you got to know that guy can't take a riding at any time. You've got to know those 23 people on your roster plus those other guys you bring in and out. Because if you don't know those guys, you can teach them to play the game and make them get better, but you're not going to be able to get to them in a psychological way, which is you need to touch these players in their minds and their hearts, and that opens them up to you and makes them listen to you a lot better.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. The one thing, there was one thing in Making Coco that I because I watched it twice before I interviewed Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The one thing that I liked more about that what the coach, and I can't think of his name, did with Grant. First of all, he didn't even want to draft him.
You talking about the GM Sater?
Yes. No, was it no, Saber was the who was the coach?
He was a coach for
Glenn Sather. Yeah, Glenn Sather.
Yeah.
Did not want to draft him.
No, he didn't.
I thought you said the GM, Glenn Sather, did not want to draft him. Was absolutely surprised when they did draft him. His biggest knock, one of his biggest knocks on Grant was A, his weight, and B, his glove.
Yep.
So what's he do? He takes a tennis machine, puts it in a hallway, in a hallway, not much bigger than a net, and puts it on its top speed and fires tennis balls at him nonstop at 100 miles an hour. Any wonder why Grant had such a good glove? Right?
Yep. Yeah, and what's the funny story about it is when Glenn Sather and two of the other scouts, the scouts that wanted to draft him, they went in there, and Glenn looked at both of them like, "What do you think?" Grant gave up like 13 goals that game or 12. I mean, it was bad, and he just didn't think he was going to get drafted, and it just goes to show you never really know.
Yep. Well, Lance, we're right at the end of this, man. We're about an hour and 20 minutes into it. You came in late, my friend.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Oh, you're fine, man. You're fine. It's normally 9 o'clock. Look for me at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. Just so you know, that's the time to look for me. Jason Nichols says that's why I played tennis or played goalie, 30-foot family room. People firing tennis balls at me. Right. I mean, Glenn Sather did not like Grant. I mean, and you watch that documentary, Making Coco. I didn't feel any love for Grant in that documentary at all. At all. Even now, all these years later, I didn't feel it.
Really?
Yeah, I did not feel it.
Well, maybe
I felt the exact opposite.
Maybe it's because I know him and I know how he comes off sometimes in interviews.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that's pretty straightforward, and a lot of times, he's got a great sense of humor, but when he's being interviewed like that, he's pretty serious. And I could understand why somebody would say that, but to me, it was pretty dang good.
Well, you know what? If you know him, get him on the show. Damn it! You
did get him on the show.
No, I'm talking about Glenn, not.
Oh, Glenn. Yeah. Glenn is hard to get to do stuff like that anymore.
Right. I don't think I needed a cup till I knew I did. Yeah, I can understand that. Great show tonight. We'll do what we can. I'll keep trying to do the shows, guys. I plan on doing one tomorrow. I don't know about Wednesday. Tomorrow might be a little late because I have an appointment at 2, and getting here and getting it set up, I might run it 15 minutes late or so. But I'll try and do one. Wednesday, I think I got a couple appointments I got to deal with. Thursday, I think I'm open, and Friday I'm not sure yet either. But I'm here for you guys, and just remember that I do this show. I mean, it's for me, but it's for you too, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Lance, thanks for stopping by, my friend.
No problem.
Well, everybody, this is Guy the Y Blues fan for Lance Scott from The Drop saying aloha, mahalo, and I can't wait to see you again. BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha.